boy. Yeah, that's a break, little man.
I said, are you ready?
Degeneration up! Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Collin Nash, a songwriter and singer. And how are you, Collin, today?
I'm happy to be on here with my cousin, man. What's going on?
Sweet. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's just get off. Let's start with the questions. What made you want to become a musician?
Well, like as you know, in our family, everybody plays and sings and
Right.
does all that, and I don't think I really had a choice. To be honest with you, it was just kind of everybody in the family played. If you wanted to hang out in the living room with all the adults, that's kind of what you had to do, you know.
Right.
There was like two different generations at Grandma and Grandpa's house. The generation that Cody and Cole and Kaylee and I grew up in was like, we had to go hide out in the back room and not be around any adults. The only way that you could come in there was if like you were doing something like singing hymns to Grandma or something like that. So that's kind of what I grew up around. You guys got to roam the house free.
Yeah. So if you had to pick one inspiration for your whole music career and who inspired you to become a musician, who would that be?
As far as early on, our grandpa, Steve Connors, was probably my biggest. And on my dad's side was, you know, my grandma and grandpa on that side. And then Michael, Uncle Michael.
Right.
Very early on, as I grew up, like if I had to pick one artist, Tom Petty.
There you go. That's a good option.
Yeah, Tom Petty's always going to be probably my favorite songwriter, musician, all of it.
Nice. That's a good pick. What song are you most proud of so far in your musical career?
Well, there's a couple on. I just recorded a new record about a month and a half ago. And I've never put out a full length record. I've always put out EPs or singles. And as far as like what's out right now, there's a song called Secondhand Stories I put out about a year ago that I really like. It mentions Salem in it, which I think is cool. But there's a couple of songs on the new record that I'm probably most proud of out of this like 10 to 12 years of like really writing and chasing.
Right. That's a good answer. We got a comment here by Connor Schuchardt. Love Tom Petty. Gone too soon.
I agree.
Yeah, very true.
You know, when I was when Tom died in 2017, and when I was living in Nashville at the time, and it was just a lean year. Like a lot of the years I've been in Nashville, that especially early on, were really lean, and I had a chance to go see Petty on his last tour.
Wow.
And the tickets were like $50, and the choice was like, do I not eat for this next week, or do I go see Tom Petty? And I thought that I was making the practical choice of like, I gotta eat. Now, I was gonna start for a week, you know, especially like knowing that was his last tour. Like, yeah, I wish I
Right.
went and seen him.
Right. So you're on the road a lot. Okay, so for a little bit, for a while, you've been on the road. What's your favorite part of being on the road?
I like the sightseeing aspect. I like
Right.
going to places that I've never been and seeing different topography, you know, different lays of land. So this whole tour that we're on right now, like we have scaled pretty much all of Texas, minus
Wow.
the Panhandle. So you know, getting to go from let's see, we were in San Angelo a couple days ago. We went from San Angelo to Corpus Christi, which Corpus is down the coast, and San Angelo is kind of out there in the middle, western central part of the state. So getting to see all the cap rock and things that look straight out of a western movie. Um, I love that stuff. And we were in South Dakota a couple of weeks ago in Deadwood. I don't know. Are you familiar with Deadwood?
No,
Heard
I
it?
don't think so. No.
So, you ever heard of that Wild Bill Hickok, like the Western? Everybody knows about it. He's like, he was basically like a lawman of the West.
Okay, I
And
probably heard
that's
of him
where he got
before.
gunned down. So it's this little town out there in the Black Hills. And it's beautiful, and getting to see all that different stuff. That's my favorite part of it, and then getting to meet new people every night.
Yeah, that's a very cool part of being on the road. We're both wrestling fans, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite? I think I know who it is, but who is your favorite pro wrestler?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
You've been in Texas for a while. Have you tried the beer that he came out with?
I did. Yeah. So I went. There was a coffee shop in Corpus Christi. We were there. Not the same venue, but we played in Corpus about like 4 months apart. So this is March that we were there. And I went
Okay.
to the coffee shop, and they had the Broken Skull IPA there. So I was like, okay,
Nice.
I just want to try it. I just want to see. I don't really like beer. If I
Okay.
guess if you do like it, then maybe you would like it. But it just wasn't for me. You know, like it's not really my thing.
Have you heard Hulk
But
Hogan came out with a beer?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
No.
he came out with a beer called Real American Beer, and it's awesome. It looks cool anyway.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Ric Flair has an energy drink called Woo Energy, and that just seems awesome in so many ways. But you mainly sing country music in your
Yeah.
music usually.
Yeah.
Why country and not other genres?
Man, I think that with where we're from, that has just leaked in too much for country to not be the case. It's
Right.
not that I set out to do that. It's just when I sit down and I write a song, it just naturally comes out that way. And you know, I spent a lot of time chasing different genres. There's, believe it or not, I have probably like 4 or 5 albums worth of music that will never see the light of day that is nowhere even close to country. But
Right.
it was all in the pursuit of like trying different things and, you know, kind of being afraid to be myself. And now like I'm in a place where I've grown up and became more comfortable being myself. And when I'm being myself, like it's just country music, and you know
Yeah.
that's why it turned out that way. I think.
Right. We got a comment here, Kim Martin here, buddy. Hello, Kim. Um, what has been your greatest concert that you've had?
I'll give you I'll give you 2 examples because there's 2 different sides of that. There's like my concert, and then there's like people that I play for because that's like one of my jobs. Like the job I'm on right now, I play guitar for a guy named Tyler Halverson.
Okay.
So it's been so long ago, but still, like, probably one of my favorite shows for me from doing my stuff. This was the year that Trump first ran for president in 2016. Uh, our friend from back in Salem, Christian Williams, his his grandpa has a piece of property out Highway 69. Doesn't matter. We put on a big concert in his grandpa's barn, and like I want to say like 350, 400 kids showed up.
Nice.
I don't know if you know about this guy, but after this, you should look. Chief Wanna Doobie. Have you heard about Chief Wanna Doobie?
I have not, but just hearing from the name, that just sounds epic in so many ways.
He ran for. He was from Dent County. He ran for representative, Senate. I think he like ran for like United States Congress too. But he's from Dent County and lived there. He was running for the U.S. Senate Congress that year against Roy Blunt, I think. And he was
okay.
Because I sent him a message on Facebook. I was like, "Hey, you should come to our show since you're running this year. We'll give you an endorsement." But yeah, that was my favorite for my stuff. And then as far as with Tyler or really with anybody, there's been too many cool ones to count. Tyler and I played this show. I want to say it was late last year, but it was us, Zach Bryan, Flatland Calvary, and Treaty Oak Revival. It was like a festival in College Station, Texas, and we got to play to like 25,000 people.
Wow. Okay,
And
we got a comment here from. He was awesome. Rest his soul.
Talking about Tom, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the 25,000 people, that's a lot of people. Who is the most famous musician that you have played with?
That I played
Or
with?
worked with?
I would say at this point, I've got to play with Lainey Wilson. So
Okay.
Lainey and I know Lainey from 6 or 7 years ago. We played songwriting rounds together, and then she got signed right before COVID, like maybe a year before COVID. All that happened.
Okay.
And I didn't see her for a while. Was obviously hearing about her like getting more and more successful, and now she's like massive. And obviously because of that, I don't get to see her much anymore. But
Yeah.
when I do, it's always it's great. It's kind of back to square one, It's cool as
Right.
it's ever been. She's awesome. But that's probably I did a Peach Jam. So I used to play in this band with Ben Chapman, and we had this really cool band that we would do the show in Nashville called Peach Jam, where we would have like a bunch of people who were more famous than us come and sit.
Okay.
And Lainey was one of those artists about 2 or 3 years ago. So I got to play on stage with her, and then had all that stuff prior. So she would probably be the biggest.
Okay. Do you think the Connors band will get back together? You, Michael, Grandpa, do you think you guys will get back together and just do something?
I hope so. There was talks there for a while about doing like a Connors family record, which we have the capability between me and Michael. We can absolutely get it done.
Right.
And I'd love to see that. Like I think there needs to be some kind of recorded like documentation of this. Not everybody's going to be around forever.
Right.
And so like I would love to see us get something down on tape with Grandma and Grandpa especially, and get that sort of family harmony put on tape.
Yeah,
So,
just throwing it out there at a single of "That's Life" by Connor Schuchardt, sang at a 4th grade talent show. Just throwing it out there.
Was it your 4th grade talent show that you did?
That was my 4th grade talent show. This 6th grade I hosted the talent show.
So I watched the live.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool to do. I was pretty happy to do that.
I thought it was really cool. Like first off, singing "That's Life" was like, I was so proud. I was like, my cousin Connor's the coolest. But then like seeing you host and be like, I'm not gonna do. Which you were smart. You were smart in that, like, I'm not gonna be just one act. I'm
Right.
spread my act out over this.
Right.
Love that.
I
And
if
the
you
belt,
noticed,
you know,
yeah, if you notice, I was wearing the same thing Ric Flair wore in a promo,
yeah.
and I had a belt too.
I
A
saw
teacher,
I saw you had the strap. I didn't
yeah,
know.
a teacher let me wear one of the because he has a replica belt. So he let me put it around, let me use it for the show. I'm like, this will be really cool to do. Some people might not get it, but I frankly don't care. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna do it. So, well, here's the last question, actually. This is a question I ask all my guests. I'm a big movie guy. What is your favorite movie?
I'm just gonna say my favorite movie probably of all most of the time. Dazed and Confused.
Okay, my dad said don't watch until your 8th grade year because you won't appreciate it until you're in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Or out of 8th grade, I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll just wait.
Yeah. You need to wait maybe a few years on that, but like Dazed and Confused. But I will tell you, I'm a massive Clint Eastwood fan.
Okay,
So the Dollar series, Fistful of Dollars, Few Dollars More, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Those are on constant loop. I probably watch those more than Dazed and Confused because I have
okay,
at my studio in Nashville, I've got like a little TV set up, and I will put one of those movies on the TV with the sound muted. So it's just like rolling that all day. And
okay,
probably my favorite Western, like Clint Eastwood Western, especially is Josie Wales.
okay. I've heard of it.
Wales,
Yeah,
and because the Missourian in that too, which is kind of
yeah.
yeah.
So, in my bio, it explains everything I do on this channel. I do mention some political stuff in there.
Yeah.
So, a debate just happened recently with former President Trump, President Biden. We kind of talked about this before the show. What is your thoughts about this debate that just happened? It's
Well,
uncensored, okay? You can talk however you want with this show.
yeah, I'll tell you what I think. I want us to have a. I want us to have a political candidate that is of the caliber of the sort of, in your mind, you want like your Kennedys and your Lincolns and your Washingtons, your
Right.
Roosevelts, things like that, right? And it's been a long while since we've had like a generation defining president as far as like policy goes and like the amount of change. You could definitely make a case for Trump that he's a pretty generational president in that he's so polarizing, right? Like
Right.
I think he's the funniest president ever. Like I enjoy watching highlight reels, right? I don't dislike Biden just because like watching him from early years on and now it's like it's not like he's always been the way he is now, but there's obviously like a mental decline. It's just
Right.
sad.
It is.
I I just wish that there was a better option. I actually really like RFK. Like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is my favorite right now. And it's just because I think that he has people like you and me and the people that we come from in mind. And that's the only thing. That's all I really have to say about that.
Right.
It just kind of bummed me out, but it was also like watching an SNL skit. You know, I love the
Yeah.
golf portion. I love the golf portion. We were sitting in a green room in Corpus. We were in Corpus Christi. What was it, Thursday night that happened?
I seen you posted something about with clown music behind it, and I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, because it's like
It's a circus.
yeah, it's like watching the Hunger Games or something like that.
Yeah,
it's
it
like,
is nuts. we're living in some pretty weird times now. But I mean, I mean, out of the two that we have, and I guess you can put Robert F. Kennedy Jr. here. I guess I'll have to pick Trump. I mean, I that's my personal opinion, though. I think he did a pretty good job, as from a child's perspective, anyway. I thought he did a pretty good job. But yeah. Oh, we got a comment here. Love Dazed and Confused, my high school years. Okay.
Jealous, Miss Schuchardt. You know, your grandma was my gymnastics coach.
Yeah, she taught a lot of people in gymnastics. Yeah, she taught the majority of Salem anyway.
Yeah, truthfully, it was kind of one of those things where I was going to preschool at the time when she was, and she would teach the preschool kids I can't remember exactly, but it was some portion of the day where I got to leave daycare. You know, I got to leave daycare in the middle of the day, and I was like, I want to do that, you know?
Yeah.
Even from a very young age, I hated school. But I actually, once I got over there and started doing it, I really enjoyed it. And what I really appreciate, and I'm glad that she's watching this right now, is that one of my all-time favorite bands is the Beach Boys.
Nice. I'm a big Beach Boys fan, too.
For Grandma. Because we did Fun, and we did let's see, Get Around. Like yeah, we did those
I Get Around, yeah.
I Get Around, Fun. Those were the two songs we did for our routine. So from that point, like, that made a very big impact on me. Very young. I loved the Beach Boys. And I don't know how much the gymnastics aspect translated other than like athleticism and flexibility, because I only did it 1 year. But the music side, that carried till now.
Right.
I still listen to Pet Sounds at least like once a month, you know?
Right. We got a comment again. Used to pick you up at preschool. We used to talk about the St. Louis Rams.
Yeah, that was when the Rams were good. We were winning the Super Bowl. We won one Super Bowl, went back-to-back years.
Right.
Kurt Warner years. Yeah.
Yeah. So you were an athlete for a while. You kind of still are. You still play golf, don't you?
I do. I play golf as much as I can.
Yeah. So you played football, you played baseball, I'm pretty sure, and you played golf. Which one did you enjoy more? Do you enjoy the musician side, or are you more of an athletic type person?
Well, music.
Okay.
Music, because, you know, when I was a senior in high school, I could have went and played college baseball. And I chose going to Nashville instead.
Yeah.
Part of that was because you learn to know your body when you're an athlete. And my arm is dead. Yeah. I played third base and shortstop in baseball my entirety of my life up until my senior year. And the reason why I didn't play third base anymore, because I couldn't get the ball from third to first.
Okay.
Now, that wasn't like, the action is the same. It's just you lose something. And I think that I played so much travel ball and things like that it just died. And like, it's weak. There was actually a few years ago, I joined a Sandlot baseball league in Nashville.
Okay.
Which was really cool, because that was the first time I played in like 8 years. And so I got to like play baseball again. And it was amazing to me, like, how some of the stuff like just didn't go away. Like, fielding a ground ball was like riding a bike. Throwing a baseball, gone. Like that feeling I was having in my elbow my senior year hasn't left.
Okay.
So, you know, that's almost reassurance of like, there's something wrong here. I probably would have had to have surgery in college. And so I think I made the right choice. Yeah, music over athletics, but I did enjoy my time playing.
Okay. So you went to school in Rolla and Salem. Mm-hmm. Which one did you enjoy more?
I'm repping one of your dad's shirts right now.
Right.
Um, I really enjoyed going to grade school in Salem. I
Okay. Did you
really,
go to William Lynch?
I
That
did,
place?
yeah.
Okay.
So I went to Salem schools from kindergarten until seventh grade.
Okay.
And I think, like, truthfully, like, at heart, even though I never got to play athletics there, I think I'll always be kind of like a Salem kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that being said, I really enjoyed my time at Rolla, and the people at Rolla were so good to me. Your uncle Joe
Yeah.
I got to play basketball for him. All the years that I played football, he was our offensive coordinator for a number of those years. I really enjoyed playing for your uncle, and I'm glad that I get to play for a shoe cart. I think, like, if you're a Salem kid, one of the privileges of being a Salem kid is you get to play for a shoe cart. And
Right.
even if I'd have stayed at Salem, like, for those that don't know, Connor's grandfather is one of the best football coaches in Missouri football history, Bill Schuchardt. Your grandpa probably would have retired before I would have got all the way there, right? Like, because I think, like, my eighth or ninth grade year was the last year before they
Yeah,
moved.
but he still coached. He still does to this day in Rolla. He will never quit.
Yeah, yeah. I just mean, like, at Salem, because there,
Yeah,
there
yeah.
was some.
I mean, he's a legend in Salem, and so is my dad, and so is my uncle.
Yeah,
Those are some three legends in
the
Salem
the
for
shoe
athletics.
always be synonymous with Salem football and Salem
Yeah,
athletics in general. I mean, I'm really fortunate in that the years that I was growing up uh, were the years that they went to the state championship and they were in the state playoffs. I can remember being like 5 and 6 years old and going to football games on Friday night, and that being such a big part of Friday night up until I was, until I started doing it, like,
yeah.
till I started participating. I was at every game. So, and your grandpa was synonymous with that. So was your dad. Like, watching your dad storm up and down the sidelines, and,
Yeah, that
like,
he's pretty synonymous for that.
yeah. And when I was at Rolla, um, our uh, our head coach was Willie Howard, and
Okay.
Willie coached at Salem and grew up in Salem. So, like,
Connection.
I don't know, cross pollination, I guess would be the right word
Yeah.
for that whole.
Salem and Rolla have always been big rivals, though. Always been
Yeah,
well. When my dad, the way my dad explains it, when he used to play against Rolla, they were pretty big rivals at one time.
they were. They were. By the time that when I came around, we didn't play each other than when we did, like, 7-on-7 stuff or, like, jamboree.
Okay.
And then
Um.
I think our senior year or our junior year, we played against in, in jamboree, but never regular season because Rolla was a part of the Ozark Conference, so we always played. We had too many schools to play. We didn't have any like non-conference games.
Right. Friday night football in Salem was the best. We had so much fun. I wish I could have
But
participated in that, but I was just a little baby if I seen any football games. I don't really remember them that well, but
yeah,
I'm proud to have my grandfather's name on it on the stadium though. So
yeah, that's so well deserved.
yeah, it's very cool that they did that for him. I thought that was pretty neat.
I agree, man. I mean, who else are you going to give that to?
I don't really know. There's not that many people who you could give that to. I mean, he's a legend. He's a legend in Salem, and he probably always will be.
Yeah, synonymous with Salem, Missouri, Bill Schuchardt. You know.
Yeah. So again, going back to the wrestling deal. Okay, let's go to some wrestling.
Yeah.
Me and you are
Do it.
huge wrestling fans. What's been your favorite era of wrestling?
Well, okay, that's a tough question because I wasn't there for the Attitude Era. That was
Okay.
before my time. When I look back and I have Peacock, so I can watch all of the Attitude Era Raw. I mean, that's incredible. You know, like
Yeah.
Stone Cold is my favorite wrestler.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. Now as far as like my favorite era that I've been alive for might be now.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because when I was me and your brothers, we were right in the middle of the John Cena era.
Okay, yeah, ruthless aggression, that time
Yeah, like kind
period.
of the tail end of Ruthless Aggression, because you're talking about like 2007, 2008, 2009.
Okay, I
So,
see where. Okay, I see it.
so the Randy Orton John Cena rivalry is red hot at that point, and that stuff like has like a very nostalgic value to me. I'll always love that era. Um,
Yeah,
but this era that we're in now is fantastic. I mean, I'm about to turn 28 years old, and the fact that I'm as engaged in it as I've ever been right now says a lot about the storytelling aspect and where they're going with all this. I mean, I think it's fantastic. I haven't.
right.
I watch Monday and Friday nights, and I watch all the pay per views. I don't watch NXT though.
AEW, or have you watched AEW?
I watched AEW a little bit, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago when that was kind of at its peak, where you had like MJF. I really
Yeah,
like MJF. I really wish that they would pull the trigger on bringing him to the WWE, but at the same time, I also understand from MJF's position, like there's not a spot for him because the roster on WWE is so stacked.
yeah. I mean, WWE right now, I mean, if you ask some of the people who were in the Attitude Era, who knew the Golden Era, like my dad was alive during the Golden Era and the Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much all the big eras of WWF and E.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't think this is the best because he lived through the best.
Yeah.
So like he lived through the whole. He was alive during WrestleMania 1. Like it's so cool. I mean, but my favorite era has to be probably the Golden Era with Hulk Hogan, Rowdy Piper, those guys. That's
Yeah.
up there. I really like those guys because they laid the foundation. I feel like.
Yeah. Well, I think like Golden Era or Attitude Era.
Oh, your camera switched a little bit.
Let me figure this out. I don't know why.
That's fine.
All right, we're just gonna roll with it now. I might have to change camera angles. I don't have like a good mount, but it's either the golden era of it, or the Attitude Era. It just depends on what kind of person you are.
And
There's
it
not a
really, for me, because I like watching all of it, so it really depends on how I'm feeling that day. So, like, I'm either watching Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Glass Shatters, giving people the bird, giving a stunner, or I'm watching Hulk Hogan beat Rowdy Piper in WrestleMania. It really depends on how I'm feeling. But now, it's just, wrestling now, it's just, I feel like there's something missing to it. For me, there's something missing that I wish was there, and I like what they're doing now. But as soon as Roman Reigns lost, they lost a big storyline that Roman Reigns' championship reign was very good. I really liked Roman Reigns,
yeah.
Ric Flair's in all the eras. That's very true, and he's a legend.
Yeah. Well, here's what. Okay. It's always been this way, especially they've really up on the storytelling section, right?
Yeah,
So Cody Rhodes goes from a nobody in the WWE. He goes and proves himself in basically every other company that exists in the world of pro wrestling to build his way back to win off of who's arguably probably the greatest champions of all time in Roman Reigns, because Roman carried that a lot of hard years. That's a big deal. And that's a big deal. Not only is that big for Cody's story, it's also big for Roman's story. And
Right.
Roman losing that belt, you have to also understand, like, Roman has been a heel pretty much his entire career
Yeah.
because he could not get over his face. So he went heel, great heel. But you watch SmackDown, Paul Heyman.
I watch clips of it. I watch Paul Heyman get put through a table.
That's really important to, I think, the Roman storyline because Roman's going back. And when Roman comes back, it's going to be the first time he's going to get. And what that could a lot of things. That could look like him and the Usos going back together to take a new bloodline. That could also Shield gets back together.
Whoa. Okay, I didn't think about that. That would be pretty cool to happen.
I also don't rule out the idea of, like, you have Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes going up against the Bloodline. They're already starting the conversation. What if there's an angle where Roman and Cody are side against?
Okay, yeah, that could be a good storyline. There's a million possibilities you could do, but are you more of a Vinnie Mac guy or a Triple H guy? Because now Vince McMahon's out for some things that I don't really want to say on my channel, but he's a creepo. So which side do you like better, Triple H or Vince?
Well, I like Triple H a whole lot more than Vince, but like I expect where it's Vince that
Yeah.
takes some risks that really pay off. I think that Triple H in the long run is going to be much better, just because, like, he was a wrestler, and like back in his time, we're like, yeah, Paul Levesque, he knows the history, he gets it, like he understands Paul. He was always that guy. Now he's kind of at least the of this whole, like, creative. I think is storytelling aspect unbelievable, right? Like how in they're going. It's just like we were talking about Roman Reigns losing at WrestleMania, right? Why
Right.
why did Roman lose at WrestleMania? He had a choice: go after Cody, keep your belt, or seek out revenge against Seth Rollins for something that happened 5 or 6 years ago. And what did he do?
Yeah. I mean,
That's that I'm like, that's great storytelling because now because he did that, there's so many different avenues.
But here's the thing I've noticed with wrestling fans. They will love the babyface until he wins, and then they don't care, and they're going to go to it. Or they love the guy who's going after the belt until he wins the belt, and then they don't care, and then they're going to go to someone else. That's what I'm kind of seeing.
Yeah.
I'm kind of seeing that a little bit because I've seen WrestleMania, which is a news place for wrestling, say, do you like this Cody era? And there's a bunch of people saying, boring, 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 which I can see where people see that.
Yeah.
It's really dependent on what you like and what kind of storytelling you like.
Well, I think there's two different look at that as far if you look at wrestling as a whole and what Reigns like, and you take Roman Reigns after wrestling, right?
You are cutting out a little bit. I don't know why, but you are cutting out just like a tad bit.
Let me try to flip this one more time.
Okay. There we go.
Am I back to normal?
You're somewhat back to normal, yeah.
Okay. Give me 2 seconds. I gotta get this set back up the way. I'm sorry, Connor.
That's fine. That's fine. We have mess ups on this show all the time.
Okay. We're gonna roll with this for a minute.
Okay.
If you look at championship reigns throughout all of wrestling, after WrestleMania, there's always a lull, and it's because usually a lot of your build up, even through is for WrestleMania, and then it's this big explosion, something crazy happens, and then it dies back. So like I saw the same thing you did, where somebody said like, look at the TV ratings before Cody won the belt and after. And what I'll say, okay, bring it up here where Roman held the belt. It's almost identical.
Yeah.
The percentage of drop off. Usually probably around this time right now, like we're about a month or two away from WrestleMania build up, really, because this is where the storylines start. I think that's why they're pushing the bloodline stuff right now. I have a theory that Rock is going to have something to do with the new bloodline, and there's going to be a big fight between him and Roman, and we're going to get Rock and Roman at WrestleMania.
When I seen The Rock come back and the fact that he was pushing the boundaries, they were pushing blood in the PG era where you're not supposed to have blood in it. He was saying bad words. There were people saying the Attitude Era is back. And then The Rock's done, he leaves, we're just right back to normal. So I don't know when it comes to that. Raw is going to Netflix. I don't know if you knew that. It is going to Netflix January 2025.
That's a big difference. They've already pretty much confirmed that it's going to be. So
it's going to be different. I don't think it's going to be for your occasional 5-year-old, but they do need to keep it somewhat family friendly. Somewhat. I mean, you need to have somewhat boundaries.
I don't think they're going to get crazy with it, but I think that there's going to be a lot more color is the right term for it. I'm talking about blood. A lot more color. There's going to be language. It's going to be the Attitude Era minus like maybe the massage and aspect and like the stuff that's like not socially acceptable anymore.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to like outwardly racist anymore.
Yeah.
But like language, comedy, it's going to be great. Like they're already pushing the limits because they know they're not going to be on TV anymore, and so they can get like Rock being what he is. That's all like him knowing. What are you going to do? Are you going to punish us? Because especially for USA for Monday Night Raw, what else is USA? It's Monday Night Raw. That is the
no one else watches anything else except if you're a soap opera fan.
Yeah, put keep that channel on the air. They're not going to say, so you just put it on below.
Yeah, I love what they're going. I CM Punk coming back, I think, was a very good decision. I just hate that he got hurt so quick. I mean, he is a good. I mean, this is what he's known for. He's a good talker, and him and Drew McIntyre. I enjoy that storyline, and I mean, WWE is at. I mean, it's money wise. I think it's at its peak. Money wise, anyway.
Yeah.
And it's just. It's evolving with the times. I mean, the golden era, what do you think of? 80s. That's all you think of when you see it because it was in the 80s. 90s, it was pushing the boundaries, more a little bit profanity in the 90s. Attitude, do whatever you want. That's the type of thing that you get from the Attitude Era. Now, I mean, it's just, it goes with the times.
Yeah, it does. And I think that you live and learn through eras of what's good and what's bad. And so now that we're kind of far enough removed from the golden era and the Attitude Era. I mean, the Attitude literally almost 30 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, the golden era is almost 50 years ago.
Yeah,
it's insane.
You have a lot of context, and then a lot of like good kind of context of like what didn't work and what drug everything down and made it on. And the biggest. Triple H, Paul Levesque, the Paul Levesque era. Like now you can kind of stand back from this at a bird's eye view of the wrestling industry for the last 40 years, and really great product. I'll tell you the thing I'm most excited about right now. Okay. Side of this bloodline thing, because I think that have you seen like comparisons between like what is it like Avengers, Civil War, like the Marvel comparisons, WWE? So I think that we're probably on the verge of like a Civil War where it's like you're your Randy Ortons. Well, when Cody won the belt, it was like Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, LA Knight.
All the big baby faces.
Big baby wrestling, right? Like, I see some sort of like civil war happen. But outside of that, the Wyatt Six.
Yes, I love this storyline.
Yes. I love that they used all of Bray's characters to bring back the way that they set up with all the Easter eggs, interruptions, and things like that. Like, that's the sort of thing that's why I think it's so great, because they have this great understanding of storytelling. And, like, as far as, like, wrestling is concerned, like, the technical aspect of wrestling, even the people from the Golden Era and the Attitude Era will tell you, like, technically, the wrestling is never been better. Like, it's fantastic. These people, these superstars are just crazy what they pull off and do.
It's so cool. I love what they're doing with the Wyatt Six, like you said. I love it. And if you notice, there's only five. I think there's only five of them, and I think that sixth character is Bray Wyatt in spirit. Because Bray Wyatt, that is such a shame what happened to him, and no one really knows what happened to him. And that was just that bummed me out pretty bad. I mean, because it was just so unexpected. And did you watch that documentary they came out with about him?
I did, yeah.
That was a good documentary about his life and all of that, and that was just so neat. But it's also so sad about what happened. I'm really happy what they're doing with his storyline and carrying on what he would have wanted. So I love what they've done with that. But I mean, we've had a lot of deaths in wrestling lately. I mean, Sika, Roman Reigns' dad, a part of the Wild Samoans, he passed away pretty recently, but he was old, and I think he was pretty close anyway. He was pretty old, and he was in bad health. But just in total, in pop culture, a lot of deaths lately, and that's usually what happens. But Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
That was so sad. Obviously that bummed my dad out really bad because he was a big Pee Wee Herman kid. But that was really disappointing. I mean, but going back to wrestling, I mean, it's good right now, I think. But I think there's something missing, and I think it's the Wyatt Six that was missing. I'm happy you mentioned that because that's what was missing from this. As soon as you put that in there,
like in the Attitude Era, you have Undertaker and Kane, which
the Brothers of Destruction.
Yeah, the Brothers of Destruction. Talk to anybody that grew up like his kids. And Kane was the most terrifying witness in their life. There are kids that are like 7 or 8 years old that saw that clip from Wyatt Six last week, like petrified. You know what I mean? Like
it was freaky. That was pretty weird.
Yeah, and so when you start seeing like them as a whole start going up against like the big name, yeah, that thing you're talking about that's missing. Maybe that'll fill the void, but I don't know. Like, I think it's pretty good right now, all things considered. But I agree. Maybe back in the day, there was just a different sort of engagement and different sort of attention to detail.
Right. But hey, we just got some big news. This isn't wrestling related, but this is pretty big. And it's involving the Rock the Country thing going on in Poplar Bluff, where I'm from. Kid Rock has landed in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. And that's pretty cool because he's going to play tonight. Kid Rock is the main event. Have you heard of the Rock the Country thing going on?
Yeah.
Have you heard about that? Yeah. I thought that was very cool, and Kid Rock has now showed up. I just got that from my grandma, and that's
I guess, what are
sweet.
They doing? Are they playing like what are they doing? Like, are they playing at like just like a big pop-up stage, or?
It's a for some reason like it's nothing like Woodstock, obviously, but it's like it's in a field, and they have a stage set up and everything. Hank Williams Jr. is gonna be there tonight, I'm pretty sure. And Jason Aldean, who came out and tried that in a small town, Kid Rock, all those guys are gonna be there. And I'm kind of glad I'm not in Poplar Bluff because that place is really packed right now. So, I didn't know I was going to ask you that in the show if you heard about that. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of I mean, in this industry, like, you know, you obviously hear about everything and what people are doing. I knew they were going to be doing that for a year ago, doing this sort of thing. I mean, heck yeah, go make money, you know.
Are you a Kid Rock fan?
I like old Kid Rock. He
Okay,
made,
yeah, like Woodstock '99 and stuff like that.
yeah, he made a record a few years ago where there was some cool stuff on there. And I think that song "First Kiss" that he has, I've always liked that song. That's cool. Like it's kind of
Yeah,
kind of we were talking about earlier.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, oh, we're 50 minutes in. This has been yeah, we're about to be in an hour in. So, thank you for being on the show. This has been a fantastic show. I thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Share with your friends and family.
Oh, you're
Like,
doing a great job.
thank you very much. Like the video. Subscribe if you want to. Collin, this has been a great show. Thank you for tuning in. And I will catch you guys on the flippity flop.
All right, buddy.